right. Can you guys hear me okay? Perfect. How was lunch?
Good.
It was good.
Really good.
Yeah. All right. Are my slides queued up for? There we go. I'm going to do my playlist. So we've got about 45 minutes worth of songs. I'm just going to do some free-form dancing for you guys.
So that's how you get viral?
Well, I'll go ahead and get started. As they mentioned, I'm a Facebook marketing strategist for the real estate industry. And over the past several years, we've generated over 275,000 leads from Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger. And with that, we've accumulated a lot of data, right? A lot of information on what targeting works, what campaigns work really well, what strategies, what types of headlines and ad copy. We run campaigns in pretty much all over the world. Canada, Mexico City, New Zealand, London, Australia, and throughout the US. And over the past few years, we've discovered a few important things that I want to share with you. So we've collected this data, and we're going to go through this data and show you guys exactly what's working right now. But before I became a Facebook marketing strategist in the real estate industry, I was in real estate, just like you. Well, I started in real estate when I was about 19 years old, so very early on in my career, but my first 3 years were absolutely miserable. They were pretty terrible. So I wasn't really crushing it, right? My first 3 years, I had door knocked on 2,500 homes. And during that time, I heard no 2,500 different times. It was a unique experience for me. It was really failing forward, right? A lot of the time, and kind of learning from hearing people say no. And I had this one specific date that really kind of started to change everything for me, if I kind of think back to where it all started. It was July 3rd, I was 22 years old, and I went into this neighborhood where it was the key neighborhood, or the prominent neighborhood I really wanted to be in. I wanted to get these listings, because I didn't really have any listings yet, right? I only had maybe 2 or 3 sales under my belt. So I got these little American flags, 400 of them, and 400 postcards that said, if you're thinking of buying and selling, right, I would love to be your listing agent. So this was an innovative idea to me, right, at this point in time. So I go out and I start in the hot summer sun. It's 100 degrees out. I'm in my dress suit and my shoes because I look like I'm 12 years old, so I have to build credibility, right, because I'm still pretty young. So I go and I door knock, and I'm putting in the postcards, and I'm putting in the little American flag and knocking on the door and saying, hey, are you thinking about buying or selling? And of course, they would say, no, thanks, go ahead. So after around home 150, I really wasn't getting anywhere. I'm feeling kind of beat up, feeling really tired. So I decided, you know what? I'm not going to even knock on the door anymore. I'm just going to put the postcard in and just kind of go about. But I still wanted to actually execute this strategy, right? I want to say that I did it. Well, now it's getting kind of dark, and I didn't really take into account how many homes 400 homes was. In the past door knocking, I did like 40 sprints, right? I would get tired, go home, take a nap. Right? But I'm in it, right? Right now I have to do something. So my feet are tired, so I take my dress shoes off, and I'm holding my dress shoes in my left arm. I have my American flags in my right arm and the postcards. And I go to this house, and they have their gate closed. They have a little courtyard. So I open up the gate into the courtyard. I walk in, because at this point in time, I feel comfortable trespassing on other people's property. So I walk in, and I put the postcard in, and I put the little American flag, and I walk out. And then about 2 houses down, I hear the gate creak open, and I hear what sounds like nails scraping on concrete, trying to gain traction. And I look behind me, and lo and behold, it's a giant Rottweiler. Right, and it's picking up pace pretty fast. It's a big boy. Well, luckily I'm 22 and I can run pretty fast at this point in time. So I'm running with my dress shoes, and my little American flags are flailing all over and falling about. And I get in the car and I drive home, but I still have a positive attitude that tomorrow I'm gonna, get some good business from this. So I show up to the office, and it's the Monday morning meeting where everyone's going to share their success, right? It's kind of the big holiday, but we're also gung-ho about what did you do, tell us about your lead generation, your sales, your efforts. And I see at the reception desk there's about 15 people gathered around. And they're all laughing, kind of having a good time. And I go, you know what? It's probably some good news. So I walk in, and they say, hey, Travis, great, you're finally here. There's a message for you. Let's go ahead and play it out loud. So they play it out loud, and it's a gentleman that says, first, just want to say thank you for the postcard and for the little American flag. But I wanted to check on your agent because I thought he was breaking into my house last night. So I let out my dog. So this sums up my first 3 years, basically, right? Which is running from dogs, dropping off postcards, and hearing no a lot. Well, something had to change. So that winter, I go up to my family's ranch up in Colorado. And I'm going up there. This is where we spend most of our time. And as kids, my brother and I would chop wood in the back of the property. So we're part-time lumberjacks, right? For there, we have to be working in some capacity. So we're chopping wood. I'm trying to tell my brother, get the courage up, hey, I'm going to quit real estate. I'm going to tell mom and dad I'm out. I just can't do this anymore. And this is kind of a big deal for me because they've been supporting me and trying to help me, right? Just like all of us had some support person through our downtime saying, you can do this, just keep doing it. But for me, it was pretty big because I'm second generation real estate family. My parents own an escrow company. They buy and sell private mortgages. The neighbors to the left of us own a mortgage company. Neighbors to the right build custom homes. Neighbors across the street build commercial buildings and lease them out, right? And all my babysitters were literally real estate agents. I had 10 top producers raise me part-time, right? So this is pretty mission critical that I either get this right or I tell my folks, you know, I can probably work at the mall. So he says, well, tell me about the last 500 homes that you door knocked on. And by this point in time, I had partnered with a mortgage broker. And who here remembers kiddie condo loans? Okay, my man. So kiddie condo loans, back in the day, they were loans where parents could co-sign with their kiddo to get credit to buy a property, right? With very little down. It's a great FHA loan. And I was with a mortgage broker as we door knocked, but I had the right type of product, right message, but wrong audience. And my brother was in graphic design and marketing at the time. So during this time, what we created is the student and parent guide to home buying, or making those 4 years a very, very profitable experience. So during that time up there, instead of telling my parents, hey, I'm out, we decided to make a marketing piece that was really focused on getting value and reciprocity, right? Educating the consumer on what their options were. Equity, appreciation, mortgage, right? Where all those things were in the definitions, and empowering them that they could make the right decision, the right choices with the right type of knowledge. And before, I just kept asking for the business, right? Instead of giving them the item of value to educate them, to position myself as an authority figure and the expert to where then I could teach them, and then they would come back to me and say, yes, let's do business, right? So Stephen Covey, 7 Highly Effective Habits, have you guys read that book? Great book, right? So during this time, one of the key things that kind of appeared to me, which made a big impact, is that in there, he talks about how you need to make an emotional deposit with someone before you can make a withdrawal, right? A good majority of the time, I was always asking for a withdrawal, right? Do you want to buy or sell? I did it over 3,000 times, basically, and always heard no, because I wasn't making an emotional deposit. I wasn't giving them anything of value. So this right here, this is pre-Facebook Ad Manager. And I did my last sprint of the money that I had. So printed about 3,000 of these. And on the very back of it, it said, if you are interested in seeing all the properties that qualify for this type of financing, go to this website, enter your information, we'll send you a list of homes. It went to a really ugly landing page. It was kind of a disaster, but it worked really well. And my office was across from a university that had 28,000 students, 30,000 staff. So it was kind of a gold mine that was sitting in front of me, but I didn't even know it. So I put these out there, kind of guerrilla marketing style, ran a few ads in the newspaper, and lo and behold, I started getting buyer leads. And the first one was a young girl that started to work at NASA. And she bought and purchased a condo at this development here. And then one of her friends was interested and bought a condo here. And then we had a few more leads come in from that guerrilla marketing flyer that was giving them value. And then they rolled in, and same thing. They bought here because this was next to the university. It felt comfortable to them. And the developers, after I closed about 4 to 5 deals here, they said, you've brought us more buyers than our listing agents have. We'd like you to go into one of these units and talk to you a little bit more about it. Well, I walk in, it's the listing agent team, and they fire the team on the spot and hire me. It was a very awkward experience. I didn't make a lot of friends that day. But we sold that development out. And then what we did is we decided to do a rinse and repeat kind of method, where we would create a landing page for a specific condo development, drive traffic to it from any kind of marketing we had. Now at this point, I won another development that they had because they're comfortable with me. And Facebook Ad Manager had just come out. So now what we're doing is we're creating these kind of crude-looking landing pages. They weren't really sexy, but we were offering an item of value. Once again, right? Download the floor plans, the pricing, the details, and driving traffic to this, and then we would generate leads, and we'd follow up, and we would then do it again. Well, this continued to happen for a couple years, where it got to the point where I had 271 listings and 100 million in inventory. And I grew my team to about 32 people and 3 different companies, all using Facebook ads, driving it to a landing page, right, giving value. Well, fast forward, I had then sold my brokerages, and we decided to go more deeper into Facebook advertising. Right? We built 3 different companies on Facebook ads and had some great success with it. And so now I'm with Tristan on a Facebook advisory consulting board at Facebook headquarters, as well as running ads for large brokerages all over the country. All right, organic reach. Last January, we were driving my daughter to school. My wife and I were, and she pulled out her phone. She's kind of cruising through Facebook, and she says, there's a post here. Well, first, does anyone know Stomp? Have you guys seen Stomp at all? Yeah, right? Yeah, I always get at the broom when I go home. I try and replicate it. It does not work. My wife gets super, super annoyed. So this comes up, and it's a local theater company in the Facebook newsfeed, and it says, the first 5 callers will get free tickets to Stomp coming up. And she looks at the post, and it was posted 40 minutes ago. And she says, well, what do you think? You know, what are the odds? Do you think we should do it? And I said, yeah, go ahead. She calls, and they said, congratulations, you're our first caller. That was 40 minutes ago, right? And they have over 30,000 people that like their page. This is the first kind of key point indicator that organic reach is dead. And lo and behold, Facebook then came out 2 weeks later and said, we've changed our algorithm. When you post on your business page, you're no longer going to get a lot of organic reach, right? Maybe 3-4% kind of on average. So what does that do? That drives us into the Facebook Ad Manager platform, meaning that we want our message to be amplified. We got to pay for it. So in our advertising agency and our coaching training program, we preach a lot about identifying the low-hanging fruit, right? The key opportunities in your targeting. There we go. Baby boomers. They currently own 50% of all the real estate in the US. Right? They're actively downsizing now in the next 15 years. And a good majority of their kids are inheriting these properties and selling them. So baby boomers, that's a huge life stage, right, to really target with Facebook advertising. The Gen X and older millennials, they own a lot of them own the first home they bought, and a lot of them are now first-time home buyers, right, kind of moving up. And then the ones that do own the first home they bought, they're growing families, right? They're moving up into larger homes because now they're starting to grow. So we use historical data to identify these key opportunities. And the top influencers that have really influenced someone to make a decision to move are all of these here, right? So we take the top 4. And these are all Facebook targeting interests, by the way. So the top ones are got married, separated, divorced, had a child, or retired. Now, a good majority of you have probably worked with someone in that life stage, right, in that capacity at some point. Right? They're either retiring, or they're downsizing, or they just had a kid, or they're separated, whatever it might be. So all of these are opportunities for you to really hone in on what is the right message to the right audience, right, with the right type of value. So we create audience personas, and a good majority of the time we highly suggest that you do the same thing when you create a Facebook campaign. You need an audience persona to know how to craft your message and who to go after. So if we're going after people that are going to be married, or they're just got married, or they're engaged, we want to target them based on all of these items on the far left. And what we're doing is we're matching the life stage with the consumer behavior and habits, right? What they do online and offline. So if we can match those together, that's going to create that perfect audience that we can actually deliver the right relevant message to. So this is inside the actual Facebook manager platform, right? The detailed targeting here. So we have newly engaged, newlyweds, newlyweds 6 months, and then relationship status, engaged, married, right? You can even do the not.com or some wedding registry, things like that, that might indicate that they're a little bit more indicative of their behaviors. And then on the far right, we need to match that then with what are they doing online and offline. So buying a house, house hunting, Realtor.com, Redfin, personal relocation, Trulia, Zillow, right? All of those are key items. Did they download the Zillow app? Did they go to Realtor.com recently? Have they talked to a friend about house hunting? All of that data is aggregated from about 700 different touch points, 7 different places where that data is being flooded in to Facebook and then created into an actual targeting interest. Does that make sense? Growing family. This is one of my favorite because typically you're going to be representing a buyer and a seller. So growing family, we have new parents of newborns and then preschool and toddlers. That's typically the ages where they're looking at different school districts, right? Should we move to a better school, right? Is there another opportunity somewhere else? Then we have buying a house, house hunting, mortgage calculator. That's a big one. Redfin, personal relocation, Home Depot, Zillow, and home improvement. Now, there were about 1,500 targeting interests removed from the ad manager in October after the Cambridge Analytica scandal, right, back in March of 2018. They removed 5 targeting interests that were dedicated to real estate. They didn't really have much of an impact, but everyone got really scared and kind of freaked out about it. But what we did is reverse engineered what are the key items that you need to target a homeowner. So home improvement, right? Home Depot. 9 times out of 10, homeowners are making one major repair to their property 6 months before they sell. And a good majority of the time, 80% of it, they're buying paint. Right? So where do you go? Home Depot, Lowe's, home improvement, right? You watch HGTV. You might even go to Pinterest and get certain ideas. We have to think of the aspirational type of activities and then the actual behavioral activities that they're doing. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes. Okay. So that's how we basically match that life stage consumer behavior. So we're saying that they're looking for real estate, they're going online looking at mortgage calculators, trying to determine if they can purchase the next property, what can we afford, and then they have growing kiddos. So we run several thousand different types of ads, different types of messaging, but we don't have 2 months to go over each one. So we're going to go over the top 4 Facebook converting lead ads. Who's running Facebook lead ads right now? Perfect. All right, Tristan raised his hand. So this is what a Facebook lead ad looks like for those that aren't. This is offering a list of homes, and this is kind of the full life cycle of it, right? On the far left-hand side, it's going over the actual what you're offering, right? This is what's going to show up in your mobile news feed. See all the homes for sale in Austin. You click on that. In the middle there, that's the one that's going to flip around, and that's basically acting as a mini landing page inside of Facebook. It's lightning fast. And what we're offering them is a list of homes at a certain price range. We're then gathering their information, right? We are pre-filling the name, email, and phone number directly from the social profile. It's pre-populating, so they don't have to enter anything. These convert typically around 35%. Standard landing pages convert around 20% on average, if they're good. Right? This you can create in less than 5 to 10 minutes. Landing pages outside of that, it's going to be much longer. And then they go to this far right one, click on that, it's going to send them to a list of homes. If you have a property search IDX, you can just go in the browser, copy the IDX destination, right, the actual link of where you're sending them to, and use that in the Facebook lead ad. So if you're kind of scratching your head of where do we send them to, you're going to send them to your property search. In a meeting with Facebook last year, they went over the front curbside image of a home gets a higher click-through rate than the interior shot of a home. And this is data from them actually hooking up eye tracking onto people and running different tests and seeing what they clicked on. So it's a reverse for renters. Renters want to see the interior versus the exterior. Broad targeting of home buyers. This is the type of ad that you would run if you're just going after people that are interested in Realtor.com, Zillow, house hunting, right? Something like that. So not really based on life stage, but just broad interest targeting, which is working really, really well. Once again, offering a list of homes. I think my clicker's a little slow to the giddy up. There we go. All right, first-time home buyers. This ad right here has generated over 4,200 leads. So if you're working with first-time home buyers or you want more of them, this is a really, really good ad. Now, it says, we put together a free list of homes for sale priced under $349,000 in the Seattle area. Check out these listings, perfect for first-time home buyers, and some of these homes even qualify for special financing programs. Click here to view the homes under, right, $349,000. Now, first thing I say, I was doing a presentation in Seattle a couple months ago. It's brought to my attention that there are no homes available for $349,000. Same here, right? The ad formula we use for this is called ADIA, attention, interest, desire, and action. And the main component that we're drawing them in is the actual action, right? What to do next. A lot of people get everything else except the action. They don't tell them, click here to see the homes, click here to see the photos and details, click here to find out more information. We need to have the call to action several times, right, to draw them in. Now, this ad is almost serendipitous to a lot of people because who we're targeting on the back end of this are first-time homebuyer demographic and people that are interested in first-time homebuyer grants. Right? So if you've visited a website about first-time homebuyer grants and you are actually probably within that first-time homebuyer demographic and age range, and you see this ad, it would feel a little serendipitous, wouldn't it? It would feel like this ad is kind of meant for you. Move-up buyers, we're asking if they've seen larger homes for sale. We're asking a question. If we can get the audience that's actually watching and looking at this ad to answer that question in their brain, actually, yes, I am. I'm starting to look at larger homes. I want a bigger backyard. If we can get their internal dialogue to click, it's going to draw them in, then to look and move forward. This is targeting just moms, right? A nostalgic, kind of emotional image, just targeting moms. Who's doing agent recruitment? Anyone? All right. This is for my 3 people. My 4. Okay, so this ad right here has generated over $176,000 in ROI over the past few months. This has been a great ad for recruiting. The top 5 reasons agents fail at real estate. For those that are not recruiting, the main point here is that you can use pain and pleasure inside of your Facebook ads that draw people in, right? We have those 2 different parts of our brain. The pleasure part, I want information that's going to be a benefit and value that's going to make me feel good, right? Get the dopamine and serotonin levels going. And then there are those where I want to stay away from the burning fire. I want to stay away from pain at all costs. And if someone has the actual blueprint and the answers to avoid the pitfalls, I want that information. So think of your sellers, right? The top 10 mistakes sellers make when trying to sell their house. Or the top 5 mistakes that first-time home buyers make when trying to buy their first home. That's actual content that you can develop that is a great way to draw those people in. So over the past year, we had spent around $250,000 testing different types of campaigns, and we found out some really kind of interesting information. It takes 8,000 impressions for the algorithm to stabilize, meaning before you make any decisions on changing your ad imagery, ad targeting, you really want to get 8,000 impressions on your campaign before you start to make any decisions. Facebook has to learn. It has to go through a lot of data to actually determine, do we have the right audience? And then if you don't really have a high click-through rate, at that point, you're not generating leads, then you can make a qualified decision based on being data-driven versus impulse. Don't touch your ads for the first 3 days, right? So the first 3 days, Facebook is in a learning phase. It's going out, it's finding people in the audience that you've defined. It's trying to find the individuals that are going to interact with the ad itself. And then once it gets more of that data of people that have clicked on it and engaged with it, become a lead, it then relearns and says, okay, now we know who you want us to go after. We're going to go after those specific people, and more people just like them in the campaign. And Facebook is a bidding and auction process, right? So you're bidding in an auction to win people's attention in certain placements. If you start to change the ad, if you say, you know what, I've spent 20 bucks, it's been 2 days, I'm going to change the ad image. It stops the auction process. You have to go back into the auction and start over. right? So you're starting at the bottom again, and it has to relearn. If you keep doing that, then basically what happens is a Frankenstein campaign, and it's going to have a quick death. The first 3 hours of a campaign are pretty crucial. So you need to be able to actually understand when to post or when to run an ad. So what we suggest is that you go and you find out, based on historical data, how can you define when is the best time to actually run an ad. You would go to your Facebook business page, go to publish insights, and then down to 28 days. If you guys want these slides, go ahead and talk to the organizers of the event and look at these for you, and this is actually in there. But this breaks down the opportunity for you to actually explore, okay, on Thursdays, maybe at 7 p.m. is the best time for me to schedule my ads to run to get in front of the right people, right? The first 500 impressions is going to be really important. If you have a lot of engagement in the first 500 impressions, you're telling Facebook it's engaging material, and it's going to take it and then serve it out to more individuals. Run 3 to 4 ads in your campaign to give Facebook more options. Typically, people say, you know what, I'm just going to run one ad. It's the ad of the backyard. And if that's not really working, then they're just going to say, you know what, that didn't really work for me. It must have been a bad time, or Facebook just doesn't work. Well, Facebook thrives on data, right? They need 3 to 4, maybe even more options. So the image of the front side of a home, the treehouse in the backyard, right? The interior image of the kitchen. All of those are going to then be served out to the same audience and rotated through, but Facebook is going to say, hey, we're going to find the one that's getting the most engagement and push that champion forward, and then you can go ahead and turn off the weaker ads and then claim the champion and let that one have the love, right? Let that one shine and move forward. You'll be surprised. We always assume that one image will work better than the other, but you need to be data-driven, right? Think of yourself as a scientist. These are experiments, and you got to let Facebook do its thing with the algorithm, and then it'll tell you what to do. We ask high-converting questions to generate higher quality leads, right? So do you need to sell before you can buy? When do you plan on buying? When do you plan on moving? All of these you can put into the Facebook lead ad form here, and then ask questions, right? And make sure that it's multiple choice kind of answers. We don't ask them to write anything. We don't want them to do an essay that would generate like $700 kind of leads. We want to give them an opportunity to just say yes or no, make it simple, make it easy, but still put a little bit of friction up front so that they have to go there and say, you know what, this isn't for me, it's not my time, this is for someone else. They might bounce out, but then the people that do move forward, right, those are the higher quality prospects. This was really interesting for us, is that we had 2 different clients where we ran an experiment. Client A was running a lead generation campaign, same as client B, but client A was posting on their business page 2 to 3 times a week. Just organic posts, organic content, not paid, just posting content. And client B was posting once every 6 weeks. Well, what happened was client A was generating leads at around $2. Client B was generating leads around $13 a lead. So what does it tell us? That the page quality score for that client A is really high. The more content that you're posting, Facebook says, you know what, we recognize you. Thank you. You're producing high quality content. You have more engaging material. We're going to reward you with a lower cost per action on your actual paid campaigns. So if you're thinking about generating content and running Facebook ads, they do dovetail. They do work side by side. Using emojis in your ads gets a slightly higher click-through rate. Also kind of humanizes it a little bit. Don't go overkill and put just lots of the laughing face emojis, right? We don't want to look like spam. We don't want to look like we're 1992, right? Keep this somewhat simple. Detailed targeting that's working well right now, Zillow, Realtor.com, HGTV, house hunting, personal relocation, Trulia. Now those are all and/or options. When you put those in at the very top, it's not saying it's going to match every one of those, right? That if someone has interacted or is defined on every single one of those items. It is saying that they're and/or, right? There's some cross-correlation kind of between the 2 or the 3. So you want to have maybe 5 to 6 different interests in there that define what you believe is going to be the best prospect for you to run the ad to. You can say, I want it to match the following and narrow the audience and anchor it down so it creates a new audience, saying that buying a house interest must match at least one of the following. Geographic micro-targeting. This works really well for developments, new construction developments, apartment buildings, certain communities, or certain conferences or events, right? This is where you drop a pin and you can go into Facebook Ad Manager, dial in the location, drop a pin on a specific building or an actual conference like this, right? Someone drops a pin on here and it geofences this area. So all of us here that are in here would then be targeted. And we might leave and then we see an ad for it. If you've ever driven past Starbucks, then you see an ad for them later on or a coupon, you went through the geofencing field. Right? You went through the field within the geofencing that they predefined so that anyone that engages through that radius, right, the geographic area, will then be placed in an audience and then see an ad for them later on. So think of a new construction development. Right? You drop a pin on a certain development, that developer is spending $20,000 a month driving people over to that specific area to look at homes, and then lo and behold, people leave and they see an ad that says, see all the new construction homes offered in your area. Download the full list here. Does that make sense? I know, it's fun. We actually did this on a lot of open houses. And if you can piggyback on other people's traffic, it's a big win, but you need high traffic areas for this. All right, lookalike audiences are doing really, really well. You can say they all look similar, but they're a little bit different, right? Yeah, I love that one. So lookalike audiences, who's using them? Is anyone leveraging lookalike audiences right now? What is it? Lookalike audiences? Okay, great question. Inside of Facebook, you can upload what's called a custom audience. And so you have the ability to upload, let's say, all of your past clients, friends and family, right? Your sphere of influence. So you have a CSV file, you go into Facebook Ad Manager, you upload their name, email, phone number, zip code, right? Any information you can have on them. And then what Facebook is going to do is they're going to say, all right, we're scouring the database. We found those individuals. We found the Facebook user ID. We've got about a 70% match of the 1,000 people you uploaded. We found maybe 700 of them. And now you have identified all of those individuals that already know you, which is great. You can run ads to them. But let's say that all of those individuals are also homeowners, and you want to find other homeowners. So we'll now create what's called a lookalike audience directly after that. Facebook will find 2,000 unique key attributes about every single one of those individuals, and then look through Facebook and say, we found more people that are very similar, and the common denominator is they're homeowners. Right? So now we have this great lookalike audience to run ads to. Right? Create to convert. There's a study done by this company, Consumer Acquisition, that researched over 100,000 Facebook ads. And they found out that the ad image is responsible for up to 90% of the campaign's performance. Meaning that if everyone's looking at the actual ad imagery, we should take advantage of that real estate. Right? We need to summarize what the ad is about. Right? Summarize the call to action and what they should do next. Essentially create a thumb stopper. So my design team in our agency, we created these types of ads. These are all animated ads. They're all less than 15 seconds. And this kind of goes in, along with a lot of what Facebook preaches in terms of what's the best type of ad length and desired type of ad that Facebook really wants. And videos are working really well with Facebook right now. They serve them out a lot more and get higher preference in the algorithm. We get a 20 to 30% higher click-through rate with these animated ads and 200 to 500% higher engagement rate with these. Now, you don't have to have your own design team to do this. You can actually go into Facebook Ad Manager and do this yourself. So there's a new video creation tool inside of Facebook, and we'll show you guys in just a minute here how to do that. We ran a test campaign to test out the new video creation tool that Facebook had. It took me about 5 minutes to create this ad here. And as you can see, we got a 13% click-through rate. Average industry click-through rate is 1% on most campaigns. If you're doing below 1%, something's off, right? The creative is wrong, the ad targeting is off, the messaging is off a little bit. If you're doing 2% or 3%, you're doing really well. If you're doing 5%, you're doing great, right? We did phenomenal with this. Not because it was me that created this. This was the data telling us that Facebook really wants video, right? They want animated ads. They want shorter ad copy. They want something that's direct and concise that people can understand that meets the 3-second audition. Right? The 3-second audition is basically if I see an ad, In less than 3 seconds, I need to know what's it about and what's in it for me. So you go to the ad level, and you would choose video, use templates, and then these are your templates. So you can choose inside of Facebook Ad Manager. And once you choose a template, then you can select and upload different video or different ad images, logos, certain text over it. It's very simple. It's very easy to use. If you guys want a more in-depth tutorial video on this, TravisThom.com. There's a full free video that shows you exactly how to do it step by step. There's actually a lot of free videos on there. So TravisThom.com, and you can watch all of these exactly how to execute it. So it works really, really well. A few strategies that are working really well for us the past couple months. Creating a walled garden around every listing. Right? What we mean by walled garden is basically creating a Facebook lead ad in front of each one. We see a lot of agents post a link to Zillow, right? Or they've got 25 different photos, and then it kind of goes off into the ether. Right? There's no direct call to action, no information. There's no opportunity to actually turn those people that are interested into an actual lead. So if we have the opportunity to create lead generation from every life stage, coming soon, just listed, just sold, right? Who are just solds for, right? Generating homeowner leads, right? Seller leads. 5-mile radius around the exact property we sold, saying, look at what we just sold, find out the price and details of what we sold it for, right? Click here to find out all the information now, right? Generate those prospects. You then get their information and then send them over to a single property website. It's a very short type of Facebook lead funnel campaign. Branded Facebook Lives, these are working really well. Switcher Studio or Switcher Go, that is a little tool that is free, an app that you can download on your phone, and brand your Facebook Lives by using a PNG graphic. You can go to snappa.io. You can create your own custom graphics, or Canva as well. Create a little graphic with your logo on there, drop it on the bottom. Facebook Lives get 10 times more engagement than any other type of video platform right now. And if you're doing a community tour or staging, let's just say that you had your company brand down there, and you're getting engagement, you're getting people seeing this. It's an opportunity for your brand to be in front of whatever audience is looking at it and synonymous with whatever activity you're doing. Retargeting the non-converting leads with SMS text. So on the left-hand side here is offering a list of homes as a Facebook lead ad. And let's say people have engaged with this ad. Right? They've looked at it, but they have not converted into a lead, meaning they didn't go through the Facebook lead ad form and actually give up their information. So we then retarget them on the right-hand side with a carousel ad saying, text this number to get the list of homes. So what we do there is we create a custom audience of people that opened the form but did not submit the form, right, for the past 90 days. So that's a custom audience that we create, and then we run the ad with the call to action that they must text that number to get the home list. What's beautiful about that is if you use certain different tools and softwares that you guys might be familiar with, is that you can instantly then engage them with the conversation. Hey, thanks so much for downloading this list of homes. By the way, there's going to be a few open houses coming up this weekend. Would you like me to send you the list? Right? You can instantly get that conversation going. I'm going to kind of skip over this one. This might be a bit advanced. This is what we do inside of our Facebook advertising agency. This is our full funnel format, which is pretty large. So we're short on time, so I won't go into depth on that one for you guys. Bottom of the funnel ads. This is working really well. So who does open house events? So on Facebook, you go to your business page, you create an event, right, an open house event. Well, then you can go to engagement inside of the Facebook Ad Manager, choose the objective gate engagement, choose this event, and then run that ad to, right, a specific targeted audience, right? Realtor.com, Zillow, buying a house, house hunting, right, some of those. Now, anyone that engages with this ad for the open house, we can then create a custom audience, right? So then we're going to build a custom audience of people who had visited the event page. We have several different opportunities here, right? We have people who have responded or going or interested, people who have engaged. We want to go for basically the holy grail, which is anyone that has visited the event page. They took an action, they clicked on it, and they got there. Now, what we do with that is we then retarget them with a Facebook lead ad offering a list of homes that is in a similar or equal price range of the open house. So then we have our mini funnel, right? They engage with an open house ad, they click on that, and then they're retargeted with a Facebook lead ad offering a list of homes that's very similar. Why do we do this? And why is it working really well? People that are visiting open houses are typically at the bottom of the funnel, right? They're more inclined to purchase in the next 90 days. So a lot of the leads we're seeing here are 90 days out, typically from buying. Another quick little buyer funnel. We're running an ad just listed or announcing a property that's driving traffic to your IDX website. And so we're not doing lead generation there, right? We're just driving traffic to the website. People just click on the ad, they go to the website, they check out the property. They leave. But we have a Facebook pixel installed on that website, right? A little snippet of code that Facebook gives you that you can build custom audiences, that cookies people and captures their information so we can run ads to them later on. Well, immediately after they leave the site, maybe an hour or 2 days later, they see then a list of homes within a similar price range of the original just listed ad, and then text, email, nurture sequence kicks off directly from there. This works really well at getting leads at a lower cost because they've raised their hand on the top, and then we're retargeting them, and then now they became a prospect, right? We're earning and buying those leads. All right, creating video that wins. So right now, video is pretty much dominating Facebook. Right? By 2020, it's going to take up a good majority of the Facebook newsfeed. There's over 100 million hours of video consumed on a daily basis inside of Facebook. So highly suggest you guys start doing video. Oh. Maybe I have to raise it up for you guys. There we go. Creating it for mobile. Everyone cruises through the mobile news feed almost twice as fast than they do on the desktop. Right? So make sure that your video that you're creating is really designed for mobile, if you can. The 3-second audition, right? This is kind of the drop-off behavior. And Facebook just came out with this about 3 days ago, the ability for you to actually see the insights of your video where people drop off. So it's an actual chart and graph just similar to this, where you can see, did they drop off 10 seconds in? I can see that 5,000 people dropped off 15 seconds in, but we had 428 people that stayed till 28 seconds. So if you have a 10-minute video, and then you start to really look and say, you know what? No one's watching the 8 minutes beyond, right? You need to really look at that data, be data-driven, and optimize your videos and your content that you're putting out there based on the actual behavior and actions that people are taking online, right? That kind of data is really valuable when creating content. So you need to make sure that you give value within the first 10 seconds. Right? 40% of the value is delivered in the first 5 seconds. 74% is delivered typically within the first 10 to 15 seconds. I know that is a little kind of hard to grab your brain around sometimes, but how do I give information in only 15 seconds? But there's animated ads that you can use. Right? There's different services that can create those for you. There's different opportunities where you really get the message across front and center. So if you're doing a video, announce what it is way ahead of time. Or use those borders, right? Do you ever see those video ads with borders on the top and bottom that kind of tell you what's going on? People engage and stay there typically a lot longer if they have those borders. Shoot vertical, that's where everyone is consuming a good majority of the information. Right? So maximizing those 15 seconds, start with some captivating elements, right? Grab and earn their attention up front. Get your brand early on, right? Make sure that you have your brand either on your shirt or a sign or anchored on the bottom, wherever you can, right? Grab their attention with your logo. And then have a celebrity. The celebrity doesn't always have to be a person, right? It could be the house. It could be the story, right? It could be the scenery in the background. Just something to really grab their attention and pull them in. This is a little snapshot of what everyone can probably put to action pretty quickly. This is what most people should really focus on, right? Your marketing plan, seller leads, move up buyer, growing families, buyer leads, new construction, right? New home buyers. There's always new construction, so you can leverage those. People really, really want that information. Sphere of influence, you should always be marketing to them. right? Upload that custom audience, market to them with your information, stay in front of them. That's how you're going to win a good majority of those referrals. And then farming. Is there an area, a cold audience that doesn't know you just yet? Go ahead and run just solds, just listeds, market updates. Influence and persuade those individuals, right? Take them through an indoctrination process of seeing your brand consistently in the market again and again. And then the top most useful apps for creating content for Facebook. Most of these are free. They're easy tools, easy apps that you can use to develop great engaging content, animated ads, or different types of little things that are going to stand out, right? Some nice, cool, creative. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, I will be around for a little bit here. Thank you for your time.